Well, we're now fast approaching week one of the NFL season, and I'm pleased to be joined alongside a man who is very well known for his crop reports here on the news station here, but he knows his football as well, Mr. Thomas Wildman. Thanks for coming in and chatting some NFL football with me.
Well, Adel, you know, football and crops are one and the same, especially here in the border city. Lots of Rough Rider fans here. Not only do they know about crops, most Rough Rider fans, they also know a lot about football. But today we're talking about the NFL and not the CFL, so thank you for having me as well.
Exactly. No, glad to have you on the cast here. So first thing we're going to talk about just here is, the first matchup of the season here. It's going to be week one. The Bills and the Rams are going to be facing off here Thursday night with the Rams, who's being the defending Super Bowl champs. Just both teams are kind of looking a little bit different this year. There's some new additions on the Bills and then some additions on the LA Rams as well. Just what is your thoughts so far on both teams and how they're looking into this first game here of week one?
Well, for sure, the Bills are a team that a lot of people are going to be really happy with so far. Lots of websites and networks have been predicting them as the Super Bowl favorites right now. There's a lot of good reasons for that. We're coming into the fourth year now of Josh Allen's career, an absolutely stellar player. He can run the ball, and he can definitely throw the ball. He's probably, for sure, in the top 5 of QBs right now. He's also got an elite wide receiver option at Stefon Diggs. Just an absolutely amazing player. Started out in Minnesota. Bills got really well with him. And then they also got, from that Rams championship team, who's now going to be facing off against his old team now, Von Miller, second ring he got with the Rams. He's also well known for his defensive expertise when he won a ring with the Denver Broncos. And so really great team there with a lot of great players, and Bills Mafia has gotten a lot of steam recently. Then you look at the Rams. I've mentioned that they lost Von Miller, but that doesn't mean that their defense is any worse. Aaron Donald might be one of the best defensive players to ever have played the game, let alone, on top of that, one of the best cornerbacks around, Jalen Ramsey. And then their offense is still really great. You got Matt Stafford, who is an excellent quarterback. He was stuck with a not great Lions team for a long time. And of course, an MVP candidate wide receiver. I think he should have gotten a few votes last year for the MVP, Cooper Kupp. Just an insanely good player. And so these are two teams that are definitely looking good, and especially the Rams in a weaker NFC, in my opinion. But the Bills will definitely be strong in a very tight AFC race.
All right, quickly, just give me your prediction on this game. Who do you think is going to take the W here tonight, and what do you think the score will be?
You know, you've got two teams with good defenses, but two teams with very high-flying offenses. I'm going to go with a 30-27 victory for the Buffalo Bills tonight. It's a bit of an odd score choice, but I'm not really a great score predictor. But Bills are, I believe, a 2.5 favorite right now for the game.
Interesting. Okay, Thomas Wildman rooting with Bills Mafia there. Now I want to go over to another couple of teams here in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, both teams as well. They're a number of teams that have seen a lot of shakeups on their roster. You know, the Chiefs losing Tyreek Hill in a trade there to Miami. And then obviously with the Bengals as well, just kind of, seeing a little bit of a different team. Their O-line is still not the best, but obviously with a team that had made it to the Super Bowl last season, just both teams, just what are you kind of expecting from them into this year here?
Well, the Bengals have always had decent talent throughout their lineup with Joe Mixon, who's been an underrated running back. He had a really great season last year. But then, of course, the two young players that have been making a big change, of course, you've got Jamar Chase and Joe. Oh, boy, I'm going to curse myself here.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yes, I had Mixon in my head there. Joe Burrow, two outstanding players. Joe Burrow now in his third season, and Jamar Chase now in his second season. You're going to hope that both of those players continue to be as good as they were as their young years. However, they could maybe slump a little bit, or they could continue to get better. And that Bengals team will definitely be a force. Of course, though, they're in a very tough division in the AFC North alongside the Baltimore Ravens.
Certainly, it's going to be a very exciting year this year. Just a lot of moves happening this off season, so it's no telling what's going to happen this year. Who's going to take who's going to make it to the top? Obviously, you mentioned the Bills being the favorites just from websites and whatnot. But again, it's anybody's game. It's a new season of NFL football, and it's going to be an exciting year. Obviously, I'm certainly looking forward to it. But Thomas, I think that's all the time that we have for this interview. I just want to say thanks again for coming in. and taking time out of your day to talk about some NFL football. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks, Adel. We'll hope that our Eagles can definitely take down those pesky Cowboys.
Yeah, certainly. Well, that's a wrap for our NFL panel. Thank you so much for tuning in.